This is the cheapest Porsche Cayman S that I was able to find in the entire country in May. So yeah, this did not go as I had intended it. My goal was to buy a lesser expensive, shall we say, Porsche Cayman so that I could customize it, work on it, and just have a fun two-seater sports car. So I bought this one from a dealership in Texas. And almost immediately after taking delivery, things started going wrong. I only drove this car about 5 miles before a coolant pipe burst and all of the coolant fell out on the road. I had to get this towed to a mechanic where it cost $1,500 to fix. At that point, the dealer agreed, hey, let's take the car back, we'll undo the deal. As you might be able to tell, that didn't happen, because what happened was the dealer stole my money. Now, of course, I'll explain a little later on what happened when the dealership stole my money and how I've been stuck with this car since May. But first, let's take a bit of a tour, given that it's been untouched for about 3 months. We're on a highway here. Let's accelerate a little bit. I don't know if you could see that, but one of the things that happens is as you accelerate, first of all, it feels very gutless, and the revs sort of wobble like that. Did you see that? You probably can hear it even. Basically, what I think is going on with this car and that check engine light that you can probably see is the air oil separator. A lot of the symptoms seem to line up with that. So hopefully that's it. I mean, everything else about this car seems pretty decent. Ride is comfortable, steering feels pretty good. Everything seems okay, but that check engine light does worry me. As you can see, it's been sitting for a while. It's gotten quite dusty. We've got some fairly faded trim here on the front as well as by the mirrors. The brakes are very dirty. I mean, this thing arrived dirty because it was on a car carrier. We also have this lovely looking stained area from a leaky pipe that's been dripping on it for who knows how long. Window is stuck down because of course we have a dead battery, and well, inside is a whole other thing. We'll get to that later. But the first obstacle that I had was popping the hood. So the hood popper here is an electronic switch, and fun fact, that requires electricity. So in order to pop the hood, they have this little guy that comes out of the fuse box. You put your positive jump lead on there, and you put your negative jump lead on the door latch. But now that we're in here, the battery should be fine. It's just flat. So we're gonna try to start this car up for the first time in like 3 months. Been charging the battery for about 15 minutes. Got lights on the dash. Oh, okay, we're gonna give it some more time, I guess. Well, we got it started. Had to get roadside assistance here, but it is working. The car is driving. Well, here it is, folks. The Cayman is now seeing the light of day for the first time in like 3 months. It is so dusty and dirty, and oh, I feel so bad for this poor car, but it's running. Now, from the inside here, yeah, some things need to be done. That's not good. This cup holder, well, it kind of works, but it's not actually in. We've got like a bezel for there's gonna be quite a bit of work that needs to be done here, but the car is driving, it's running. So let's go ahead and get on the road and see what it feels like. Okay, well, we are on the way. I gotta say, it's not feeling too great. The engine feels slow. I mean, I gave it a little bit of gas, and it doesn't seem like it super duper wants to go very fast. So I'm gonna stick to 46 miles an hour. But while we're going to the mechanic, I figured that was a good time to tell you how I got absolutely screwed with this car. So we got to rewind. I've been wanting to get a Porsche to work on, to experience for a number of years now. So I bought this car from a dealership in Texas. I had it PPI'd, which is going to be important later on. And it came here. I paid about $700 or whatever, got it shipped. It showed up, I picked it up, I was so excited, and within about 3 miles of owning this car, all the coolant fell out in the middle of the road. I started smelling coolant light came on, I was like, oh no. So the next morning I had it towed to a mechanic who said, sure enough, coolant pipe burst, we're gonna have to replace that pipe, flush the system, and test for any other issues. So that was about $1,500, and obviously I was not very happy. So I called the dealership and said, hey, look, I drove this car all of 5 miles, the coolant fell out, what are we gonna do about this? And they agreed to cover the costs. But honestly, that was the tip of the iceberg, because once the mechanic fixed the coolant issue, the check engine light came on, and there were a bunch more things that he said needed to take care of. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've only driven the car 5 miles. This is a nightmare. I called up the dealer who said, okay, I don't know what's going on, but we're gonna take the car back. We'll undo the deal. And I thought, finally, we have some resolution. I paid $22,000 for this car. I don't wanna have to invest like $4,000 right off the bat just to get it running. Little did I know that what would then happen is, after several weeks of continuing to promise that they would take the car back, the dealership just stopped answering my calls. And I was like, that's not good. And then their phone line disconnected. I was calling it and it just went boop, boop, boop. This phone has been disconnected. And I was like, that's not good. And essentially the dealer dropped off the face of the earth, just completely up and left. And at this point, I was starting to panic a little bit, because I've still got this car. It doesn't really work, and it needs a bunch of repairs. And the worst part of all, the dealer never sent me the title to the car. So at this point, I had to get a lawyer. And this lawyer happened to also be in Texas, where the dealership was located, went by their dealership and found it completely abandoned. These guys are fully on the lam at this point. And so we send a letter saying like, hey, give us the title or we're gonna sue you. But then a flooring company, which supplies inventory for dealerships, sends me a letter saying, we've noticed that you have purchased a car from this dealership. That dealership does not exist, so money goes to us. So give us the money. And I was like, I paid in full in cash. So now we have the lawyer going after them saying, hey, this guy paid. They asked for a ton of stuff, wanted to get super in-depth in my whole financial situation. It was very invasive, but we finally were able to get them to send the title after months. Remember, I bought the car May 6th. I didn't get the title until October. It was an absolute nightmare. But when I got the title, I went down to the DMV, said, hey, can I register this car? And they said, oh, it has not been reassigned. So they sent me the title, but they didn't do any of the paperwork required for me to actually register the car, which meant we had to go back to them. And then they said, oh, well, we can't do anything. So we had to go and find the bankruptcy lawyer who was managing the dealer that fled and stole my money and get them to sign a reassignment sheet. Otherwise, we were going to sue them. So, yeah, it was a complete nightmare. The long and the short of it is, dealership got my money, ran off, went out of business, but never actually paid for my car from the flooring company. So they wanted to come after me. They were going after him. He was running away from all of this. And the long and the short of it is, I am now stuck with this car. $22,000 plus whatever I'm about to go and spend. Yeah. So far, it's at the very least driving. I haven't really exceeded 45 miles an hour, but hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get this car sorted out and fix it up a little bit. The interior needs some work. Yeah. Wish me luck. So despite my check engine light, the somewhat concerning gutless performance, and the fact that this car has been sitting for months and has a dead battery, I made it about 30 miles to get to the mechanic with no issues whatsoever. Well, we got it dropped off at my local mechanic here at Intersport Performance. Hopefully it's nothing too bad. See you later, car. So that's the first part of my tale of woe with the silver Porsche Cayman. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I've got a second part of it that will be coming out soon. And this is the first video on this new YouTube channel. So I just wanted to take a minute to thank you guys for watching. I hope you'll stick around. Make sure to get subscribed and turn on notifications. Car content is something that I have wanted to make for a really long time, and this channel is going to give me the opportunity to do so, even if it's not in the best of circumstances for these first couple of videos. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate the support. Stick around, a lot more to come. And I'll see you guys in the next video.